Chapelwick wasn't built. It surfaced. And ever since, the sea has refused to take it back. Not a ruin, no. City perfectly preserved, as if caught in a moment of life. But that's the lie. The farce for those who cannot see. You'll catch glimpses, mindless revelries in the corner of your eye. Laughter that fades when you turn your head, as if normal is just beyond your touch. But the city is toying with you. It wants you to believe, to let go. All of it, a facade, a sick performance. No mind can withstand the city that crawled out of the sea, and the terrors that only appear when the clock strikes 13. You cannot run from madness.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tavern Talks. As you can see, we've got something new and exciting tonight. We have the wonders to find out the first information on this new Kickstarter, Chapelwick. And who better to find out about it than the man himself. So real quick, we're just going to let you introduce yourself and kind of give us an idea of give us a big, just a breakdown of what Chapelwick is, and then we'll get into some questions after you're done chewing, of course.
No, you're good. You stalled perfectly. I appreciate that. Yeah, just trying to shovel down a dinner in the day 2 of a Kickstarter here.
Hey, I feel you.
Yeah. So, I mean, general rundown of Chapelwick. It is, a horror module for D&D 5e 2014. People are really curious about the year. It's 2014. And it is the city that crawled out of the sea. It is a horror city crawl where you find yourself trying to essentially escape the clutches of Chapelwick's sacrificial engine. And I won't go into details because there's some pretty big spoilers there. But we are currently live on Kickstarter right now and just having a great time interacting with the community. And there's like a whole bunch more. I don't know how much you want me to say, or how much you want me to drill down on each of the individual things.
Oh, we'll get there. I promise we'll get there. But
But
we're going to make sure that we get comfortable here first. Because,
there we go.
It's kind of what we do here in the tavern. Is we get you warmed up and then we throw a bunch of questions at you. So you're overwhelmed and ready to go. So, and Chuck looks like he's just frozen. Oh, no, there he is.
Oh no. I am. Well, let's just say I'm mentally frozen because that was the first time I'm the fully out myself. I'm bad.
Yeah, go for it.
The first time I saw that intro, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
For those that missed it when you first walked in, we're going to play it at the end of the show as well, just to make sure that people, if they did miss it, they get a second chance to see the intro. Yeah, no, I've been super psyched by this. I've been watching off and on just images pop up. I feel like for months. I don't know how long you've actually been presenting this stuff, but I feel like I've seen this thing for months.
Way too long.
Okay, good. It's not just me randomly seeing pictures and being like, yes, that was Chapelwick, even though it wasn't. So hopefully I'm still watching the right thing.
Correct. Yeah. Nope. Still us. We've been at it for a little while. Had some stuff happen, but we're finally here.
Yeah. I mean, you made it, right? Not only have you made it, real quick before we even dive into anything else, you made it at currently $125,000 made it, which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
You got to play it at PAX U. What? Jealous.
Yeah, looks like we got some folks from our Discord hopping in to say
That's
hi,
awesome.
seeing if they can catch me saying something I shouldn't be.
Hey, it happens.
Say it.
Wouldn't be the first time we've gotten a little bit of spoilers here. We tell people that's why they need to come to the tavern, because normally we get people to be drinking a little bit and then they get to taste things they're not supposed to, me included, which is usually the problem. But
Always.
I've gotten better. So
I'm being a bad influence tonight. Got it.
No.
you're
I
fine.
just
Fine.
decided not to drink tonight. So
We're the bartenders. You're supposed to drink. We
yeah,
are.
you're supposed to
okay.
drink. Problem is I normally tell like secret projects that we have going on because I can't keep my mouth shut.
That's
So,
for damn sure.
but I'm getting better. So before we start, just to kind of warm us up here and get us a little bit of understanding who you are and how this all came to be, I like to ask my guests 3 questions. And the first one is, how did you get it? What is your first experience with TTRPGs? Like, let's go back.
Yeah. So there is, I'm sure you're aware of a game called Diablo 2.
Absolutely.
You might have heard of it before. I don't know.
Spent way too much time on it.
Oh my goodness, right? In the box came a 3.5 one-shot.
That's right.
And I still have it. And actually,
wow.
I remember, I think it was 7th grade, my dad ran that module for me. He was like the D&D, at school clubs. He was like the head of the D&D club at school, and he told me, and I was like, what's D&D? And he's like, all right, sit down. I'm gonna show you something.
All right, son, sit down. It's time for you to learn something good.
Yeah, time for you to learn. And so that's where it started, was playing the Diablo 2 3.5 one-shot and getting absolutely obliterated by quill rats in the wilderness.
There you go. Speaking of Diablo 2, our good friend Drew's Basement actually runs a Diablo-based game at conventions, specifically at Long Island Tabletop in New York City. So, and he brings out the minis and he brings out the terrain. Oh, it's so gorgeous. They did it in the cathedral last year and it was beautiful.
That's badass.
Yeah, it was awesome. So Diablo 2 kind of was your springboard into it with the 3. So 3.5 is what you started in.
Yes.
Awesome. So the second question I like to ask is, what next? What made it so that this wasn't just and it might have just been your dad saying, hey, you're playing, but what made it so that you went from, that's a cool game, Dad, I don't know if it's for me, to, I love this and I'm going to keep playing? What was that spark?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, I kind of fell off a little bit in like my college, like in the high school days, but then picked it back up in 5th edition. Trying to remember what the Tiamat module is called. Do you guys remember?
Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That was my first like soiree into 5e. And I know I'm probably going to get like, I don't know, crucified for this or something, but I really loved going from 3.5 to 5e and how much simpler it was for me to role play and not worry about other things. And I know people are like, oh, my 5e is the worst thing that's ever happened. And it actually really let me get back into D&D in a meaningful way and have a lot more fun with it. 3.5 was just a little too crunchy for me, which is crazy because I'm like a numbers guy. I love min-maxing like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with the role-playing aspect because of 5e and the space that it created with that. And so running that, running a paladin's like my favorite class in there, Oath of the Ancients, living that class fantasy, getting to role play that is really what sunk its teeth in and never let go. And I just have enjoyed that feeling and have been chasing that feeling ever since.
That's awesome. And I will tell you, one of my favorite intros is that book. That is my favorite way to start a game.
It's so good.
For those that have never played Horde of the Dragon Queen, you start by sitting in a wonderful tavern just like this. And then a blue dragon rips through it. Go.
Yay.
Oh, so good. Love it. Also on top of it, the town is being overran by bandits and cultists and kobolds.
Oh, it's just chaos.
It's straight up chaos right off the get-go. I was making my players rolling for deck saves because, pieces of lumber being flung at them as the dragon rips the claw through the inn. They're already getting burned, so they're crawling out of their half alive. Oh, so good. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
a lot of opportunities for that environmental stuff, which I really enjoy as well.
Yeah. And then it automatically just spun into just a good story after that.
Yeah.
So then And you might, I mean, I'm guessing you're going to say, yes, I did this, but when was the moment where you went from, I'm going to be a player to stepping to the other side? When did you grab the GM screen and go, all right, now I'm in charge?
It was actually pretty quick after that. And I've been the forever DM after that. I think I've only played in 2 games, 3 games maybe in the last decade.
We're just gonna have to start marking these people down as they're forever DMs. I'm like, I'm gonna bring you all back on the channel for a one shot every time, like every once in a while. Like y'all need to get time to play.
I would love that so very much. I mean, I love DMing, which is why I continue to do it.
Absolutely.
Right after I'm off of this, I'm gonna go DM Grim Hollow for my local group downstairs. You know, so I really enjoy the storytelling aspect of it. I have a lot of stories that I tell from like my childhood. I fancy myself a storyteller. I'm not an author. I'm definitely a storyteller. I love the role playing. Like when I was in like 7th grade, 6th grade math, the only thing I wanted to do on that graph paper was draw maps from like video games. I used to get into like Doom 2 and make maps for them and stuff.
Ooh,
and so this
go.
all kind of like adds up between video games and TTRPGs to kind of make me want to be the forever DM, right? In video games, you're kind of playing through the story. You're telling your story by the choices you make. You're dying, you're winning, you're losing on that stuff. And kind of flipping the script, you get to do that for other people in the DM seat. So I love getting to kind of do both there.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
I'm learning that, and it's fun.
It's fun. And then it gets addicting. And then you come into the point where you've done it so much, and it's almost freeing to go back to the other side of the screen for a little bit, and get to play a player, and you get to dive deeply into that character, and you don't have to worry about all those extra steps that you have to remember as a game master. But I love both sides. Like I still love being a game master. But there is something freeing and enjoyable about just bringing a character to life as strongly as you can. And thankfully, with the way Misfits has been structured over the last year, we get to do both. So happy. And everybody's doing both. We've got game masters all over the place. It's awesome. All right. So we've kind of gotten the understanding of where you're coming from. Now, the funny question is this the question we have to ask everybody when did the brain kind of go a little bit and a snap hit and you went, I want to write something for this thing?
So thankfully, I didn't actually write the story. My wife, Janelle, wrote the story. This is from, if you can imagine, 3:00 in the morning. I'm sick as a dog. I'm up. I can't sleep. I'm playing Bloodborne. Like that's my emotional support video game.
It's a game for some emotional support. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
what.
It's great. And I was just in a not drunken, but kind of fever drunk stupor. I was like, what if this city like moved around and like mortal engines and like what if the sunken city like crawled out of the sea? And literally that's it. Like it is the simplest origin story for this, but kind of everything came from, I woke up the next morning like, oh, I should do this. That's actually kind of cool. And
there you go. You're like, hold on. That wasn't just me being in a dream or drunk. It's actually something
there was
I want to do.
One lucid sentence in the entire evening there, and that kind of is what stuck. That's terrible. Don't use that word.
Use it.
Yeah, Chapelwick, the city that crawled out of the sea.
Yeah.
That automatically gives me Lovecraftian vibes right there.
It does. Definitely gives me Lovecraftian vibes. And then now that he tells me that he was playing Bloodborne during it, I'm seeing it so much more. Okay, I got it. I think the fun thing about this whole thing is that it made a spark that has now come to this. And I think a lot of people don't realize that that's all it's taken for some people to just go with that dream that they're doing. Now, for those that are interested in doing something like this, what was the time frame that it took you from inception of like, this is a cool idea to where we're at now?
Oh, no. This is a very revealing question. So it would have been 3. Hold on. Brain work. You can do it. Come on, little guy.
Run, hamster, run. Spin the wheel.
I think it was the PAX after COVID. So I want to say 2022,
Okay,
23, 24. Yes,
it's about 3 years.
that we had been just messing around with the idea of Chapelwick. We had been doing naughty things with AI, trying to make some of this stuff come to life. And we're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, this looks really cool." Before we had like an art director, and we had a different author at the time that was writing some of this stuff. I was making monsters and all this stuff. And so we go to PAX, unplugged, and we're walking around just trying to get people to sign. Like, we didn't have a booth. You're not supposed to do this, by the way. Please, Chris Whitpan over at PAX, don't tackle me when we have our booth there this year. You're not supposed to go around and solicit people, but we did because we can't read. And yeah, we're just asking people, like, just jump scaring them, like, "Hey, check this out. Do you like this? Give us your email." And they did. We had about 500 people sign up for email, and they're like, "Whoa, people might actually like this."
It works. Who would have
And so we
thought?
went back the next year with a booth, and the year after that. It's so long answer here is 2023. It's gone through a lot of different iterations. Something that happened pretty quick after that is the whole SRD OGL debacle with Wizards. We're like, "Oh no, we're gonna have to shut down." And then we waffled back and forth for that, and then lost our original author. That put us back a little bit, and some other stuff came up. And the story has been written since last summer. A lot of the larger design, like macro design, the feel of the book, the mechanics and everything have been also pretty well designed since then. So we're really just getting here to this fundraiser for art and manufacturing costs.
Yeah.
Those are the big two that we're looking for to kind of get this to people. So if you're starting out, the timeline's going to look different for everybody. I worked on a video game before this called Last Epoch, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to launch this date." And they're still not even like out fully yet, and so that's
Like
just
about
kind of
that.
how it is. And Last Epoch's turned into this beautiful, just awesome game that I got to have, like, I did a lot of the in-game design, wrote some of the music and stuff. And now the same thing here. It's just a longer timeline. Don't expect it to happen overnight. It's an
Absolutely.
elephant. You got to take a bite at a time. As long as you're moving forward at a pace, doesn't matter what that pace is, you'll eventually get to the. I mean, you could die before you finish whatever, but try not to do that. I guess it's terrible advice.
I mean, look at Game of Thrones. It's a possibility for that one. So I mean, it makes sense. But they're still doing
Brandon Sanderson will have
books.
to take over, no problem.
So I think what that does, though, is it gives people hope on the idea that, like, this doesn't have to be done tomorrow, right?
No.
Like, these take time, they take energy, they take money, they take resources, all that stuff. And that even if you did run into a couple of roadblocks, which it sounds like you've had some pretty rough ones at times, it still happened. So if you have that passion, you have that interest to do something like this, just start and take the steps it takes to learn how to do that, to get to those levels.
Yep.
All right, now we get to the juicy parts, and I'm gonna let Chuck talk for a moment while I surf the web as well for this stuff, because I've looked through it once, but I have more questions, and I love
it's a
the
very
dice.
long page. It is a very, very long Kickstarter page.
It is a very long Kickstarter page, but it's full of so much stuff.
Yeah. So what details? I mean, obviously you've kind of covered a little bit of it, but what kind of details can you give us about the setting itself? So there's the city that's come from the sea, cosmic horror, all the fun stuff. What more can we see when we start actually diving into the actual story?
Yeah, this is going to offend a lot of people, and I love doing that. It takes aspects from, like, Victorian design in some architecture, some Gothic design in architecture. Same with, like, clothing and setting. There's electricity. It's a mixed mash of both of those. But really, when you get into the city itself, it in itself is a cosmic entity, right? Like, that's the whole point of the city that crawled out of the sea. There are the districts, right? I can't even name all of them off the top of my head. That's why Jane should be here, but she's busy doing other stuff. But each district is unique, and they're all very segmented from each other. And when you wake up in a district, You're moving around the district. Everything seems very normal during the day. Top of the morning to you. This is just a normal town. Everybody's normal. How do you do, fellow human? Sort of vibe. But you wake up the next day and the blacksmith might be 4 blocks away in a different location and act like it's completely normal. The inn you're staying at might be a mile away, 2 miles away from where you were staying last night. You might wake up in a different location. And so the city itself is alive in that manner of it is a cosmic entity. It's moving, it's squirming, it's growing constantly, right? Every good cosmic entity needs some sort of sacrificial engine. And, it uses its citizens, and it's always dragging stuff in, right? So you add that Victorian, you add that Gothic, you add this city that's come alive with all these very unique districts.
Mm-hmm.
And you just get this really kind of uncanny valley city crawl that we're going for on the back of this cosmic being, right? Like this eldritch horror.
I like that, the fact that the city doesn't stay the same day to day.
I think it's funny that like I could be going to take a nap, like I'm going to the inn, and I'm gonna sleep here, and I wake up and I'm in a different part of the city. Like what the fuck? Like where'd I go?
Yeah.
But everybody pretends it's normal. It's normal. You're the only. You're like you and a select
You're the
group
only
are the
one.
only ones that are understanding. Like this doesn't
make
what's
sense.
going on.
I'm
But
not a part of
it's
the
funny too. We
cog.
designed it that way. I don't know if you've seen the new Demon Slayer movie.
Not the
Not
movie,
yet.
no, but I know the story.
Oh
I
man,
know
it
the
is
story.
incredible. It's the Infinity Castle, right?
Yeah,
and you got
I
the
know
kids
that
in
arc.
there like trying to map it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what's happening here in Chapelwick. It's like constantly changing. So there's like a faction that's always working on, like the layout and mapping it and how to move through it. There's all these factions that play within the city as well that have different goals.
Yeah, so you were mentioning madness. What's the one thing that's different that you're bringing to the game when it comes to handling madness for a player?
Yeah, our goal, like a pillar of design for that, is absolutely the immersion of it.
Mhm.
Right? It is going to rely on DM and players really leaning into it and letting the things happen that we have laid forth. Those tools, those mechanics, those levers. But what we've done is we've taken this madness deck that we have in our Kickstarter, and we've kind of board gamified it a little bit. So let's say one of you fail a madness check. You'll draw a card. The card will have 4 options. You'll roll a d4, and that's the first option that happens. It could be your teeth are soft for 24 hours. It could be every time you look in a mirror, an entity jumps you. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of different things. But the next madness you draw goes on top, goes above that card, not on top of it physically, but above it. And there's these little rails on the card that tell you the next madness that happens. So no madness encounter will be the same. It's like probably statistically improbable, right? And then the third one happens. So you've got this little branching madness story that's happening in a board game-esque way. After that fourth madness, you draw a despair, and that's something that happens to the group. And there's a couple different levers there. There's group madness, that can make a despair happen. When that happens, it wipes the board. Permanent effects are still with you. Some of those happen sometimes, but some of the more non-permanent, obviously they go away. And then the despair happens. So that's like a larger madness, a scarier, more impactful madness that happens to the whole group. And on top of that, the city has its own madness clock. So the more madness is happening, think the Matrix, right? When they're out and they're doing stuff, everybody all of the Matrix people start getting weirded out by it.
Oh, yeah.
More and more the stuff happens. That's kind of what happens with the madness clock is, the citizens will be aware of you. The city is more aware of you. So more and more madness happens to you in deeper and more meaningful ways.
Huh. It's interesting. Because I'm looking at the artwork for it and I see those branches you're talking about. It's very interesting. So there's already a set path essentially based on the first madness that you roll.
Yep.
Is what I'm understanding. Is based on what I'm seeing.
Yep. First one you have a little bit of autonomy over, you get a little bit of the luck of the draw. Next two, it's nope, you better buckle up.
Yeah. No, That's
Buckle up,
really
Buttercup.
But they don't compound. It one goes away, and or there's certain ones that compound on it, or
It depends. So they will say, whether it's an enduring, whether it's short term, they'll be notated on the card. Like your teeth could be soft until the madness clears.
okay, until that goes away.
There's
Interesting.
something about that specific phrase that just, ew.
Yeah, they won't let me put it on a card. I really wanted to put your teeth are soft and they get hard when you're hungry. Nobody wants that on a card, so they won't let me put it on there. The team's like they ixnayed that. I think that's a great one, but I'm alone on the team for that.
I would die laughing.
The teeth one's just, ew.
It wouldn't be madness; it would just be laughter.
Yeah.
Well, and that brings up a good point too. Like we love to offset. I think what makes good horror is some funny moments
Sure.
like that, and so there's going to be probably some comical moments happening within that madness. I think it creates a really good contrast to what's actually happening in the city.
That's good.
Can you talk about any of the subclasses that you're bringing in? Because it seems you've got a good selection there.
It does. Like I'm seeing just a
I
Just the
personally
imagery
designed all of
alone.
the subclasses, so you can ask me anything about any of them.
Hell yeah. Okay. I'll just start naming ones, James, unless you got one you want to particularly talk about.
no, because I got to find them all.
Let's see. One that really stuck out to me is this Ghost Flame Corsair Fighter subclass.
Yeah, so I love being derivative. I know a lot of people don't lean into that, but Aragorn, when he's walking with the Ghost Army, that was kind of it was a mix of that, and I play a lot of Path of Exile. And there's some Ghost Flame elements there. So I'm like, what if Aragorn was like a dual-wielding pirate that had like a ghost buddy to help you investigate? I know that's like a weird, that is a weird way to sort of deviate from that, but he essentially is the dual-wielding paranormal investigator.
Okay.
He uses Dex as a spellcasting modifier, which again is probably going to piss a lot of people off. That's fine. You'd be mad about that. And essentially, the green flame cantrip on both swords make them do extra damage. The kind of ultimate ability is kind of actually that Aragorn with the pirates. You summon a ton of ghosts, and they go around and echo your melee attacks on people. So a lot of role play elements in there, being able to be more in tune with the unseen world, investigate things X, Y, and Z. Having bonus rolls to like paranormal investigation and kind of suss that stuff out. There's gonna be a lot of opportunity for that in Chapelwick.
Interesting. Is there one particular subclass that you just? I mean, I know you made them all, but is there one in particular that you absolutely just love more than the others? Just a little bit. Like a child.
Mine is the Sinister Pallbearer Rogue.
Okay. Tell me more.
Nope. I refuse to. No, so I it was another late night thing. That's where the best things happen. I got into this medieval torture binge on YouTube for some reason. Just the devices, not the methods as much. Like the devices are the methods, sure, but just how the devices were made and the concepts behind them, from writing of Dark Ages through Spanish conquistador
Put
stuff.
your disclaimer out there. That's okay. We know.
Hey, Janelle wrote the Escape from Solitude Heights one shot where she researched asylum torture methods. I got nothing on her. So the rogue though comes from ceremonial Rome, the pallbearer, right? The pall, the cloak, carrying the coffin down the street. There's this whole ceremony around it. And I just thought it'd be cool. I love the aesthetic of a coffin on the back. For some reason, I have MTX in a bunch of different games where I can have a coffin on my back, and the answer is always yes. I don't know why I'm so drawn to that, but I was like, what if I just make a subclass? Where the ceremony is death and the power of death does come from that. One of my favorite rogue subclasses is the Arcane Trickster. So it's not magical necessarily, but it does use the power of death to kind of harm its enemies. On a successful sneak attack, there's this table where you get to interact with the coffin and the pall and do a whole bunch of stuff, and that's all in the playtesting material too. It's still going through some different iterations. But a lot of the theming and a lot of what happens in there, I've added a new bleeding condition to the game, which I'm wild. It doesn't exist, but the pallbearer essentially inflicts bleeding on enemies, can make bleeds pop in other places, and just again harness death, near death, to just further spread that mayhem on the battlefield.
Interesting. They all look so interesting and so fitting for the setting, and I absolutely fucking love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a fun part about being derivative. Like everybody's like, oh, that's Gandalf. Ooh, that's this. It's like, yeah, but like if you reverse engineer that, which is like where I started, like who belongs in Chapelwick, and how do I take the things I love and really like to lean into as like a role-playing guy,
I found
and kind of make it work, right? I'm answering the question backwards with it, and I think that's why some of this works the way it does. The Oath of the Parasite Paladin, that's like easy, right? Who doesn't like parasites? A lot of the districts come into play as well with their theming. Every single one of these subclasses matches a district. And kind of a little spoiler here, we have the 13th hour, which has nightmare hunters in it. There's something with the subclasses there. Somebody will have to figure it out.
Interesting. Okay. What did you find? What did you find, James?
Oh, well, first off, welcome Forge of Lore Raiders, coming to hang out with us tonight as we talk about Chapelwick. I think what I'm hooked on right now is the Path of Annihilation Barbarian. That sounds sick.
Oh my goodness! So
give me gravity on top of being a barbarian with rage. Like, yes, please.
I'm low key like a deep space astrophysics nerd too. I'm always watching YouTube videos about that, and I'm obsessed with like deep space and like larger, cosmos, essentially scientific ideas. So like, what if the barbarian just like made a gravity well? Like Thor calls its hammer. What if it could just like pull something towards it and like become that immovable object and cause damage by standing their ground? Like that's part of the rage is you don't move, and you can pull things into your gravity well with you.
That's
really it. That's kind of the gimmick there. The barbarian already has like a ton going on, so a ton extra is like, ooh.
No, I'm down with it. The other one I really like is the Hellfire Domain Cleric. Like those are the two I would definitely play. No questions.
Oh yeah. Basically, Ghost Rider, John Wick, the cleric. A lot of penance, a lot of hellfire. I mean that's actually the simplest subclass I have to talk about. Just kind of turning the cleric into the ultimate, form of like punishment, like sin and shame, just like that. No sin in my sight shall remain, sort of thing. Burn it all away with fire.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking this Way of the First Knife.
I knew you would.
What?
Oh. Yeah, so there was this accident that happened. I know. Sorry, I'm going to go deep on this stuff.
Hold on.
There was an accident that happened, and I think it was. I don't remember. Like I'm fuzzy with names on it, but some guy put his head in the way of one of like the early particle accelerators, and the damage like was not measurable until later. And so that's actually the idea behind the Way of the First Knife Monk, is that those blades that you see are actually cutting time and space so fast that the damage doesn't happen immediately, but it repeats over time. So if you hit somebody with that damage may occur up to 2 or 3, maybe even 4 times a turn or 2 later.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of ways to spin like the key points, like make this stuff happen, and to like cause like echoes on different enemies. You hit somebody, and then somebody else takes the damage, which is kind of fun. Like the person you hit doesn't take damage, somebody else takes it away from you, or you could split it up. I mean, there's a whole lot going on there with that kind of delayed cutting between space and time concept.
I like it.
Okay, so now that we've went over most of them, I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but now I'm curious, because what is this 13th hour?
So in Chapelwick, the city itself,
Yeah.
And this is kind of where we get the souls-like roguelike mechanics from. During the day in Chapelwick, normal city, if you die, you wake up the next day. There's no permadeath during the day. Now, the districts are blocked off from each other. The only way to get through the districts is to go through the 13th hour. The 13th hour is essentially the sacrificial engine. It's the only place anybody can truly die. So think of the day like a refrigerator, right? It's storing all these souls, it's pulling all these souls in, and sort of using them like a battery. And then at nighttime, it consumes them.
Right.
And each of the districts are inhabited by a different, essentially emotion is what I will call them, but they are called nightmare hunters that enact this sort of sacrificial engine and feed it to Chapelwick. And so to get between the districts, you have to go through the 13th hour.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
See, the first thing that comes to mind, you say 13th hour, I go to 13 Ghosts.
I was kind of thinking similar.
I love 13 Ghosts. They keep saying they're going to do like a series, and I'm out here waiting. I would watch it.
Well, I'm reading the reason and then the 13 Ghost thing kind of kicked in after I read the first part of it. It says fight or flee the monster in the mirror when you come against any of the 13 nightmare hunter encounters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So is it literally like fighting yourself?
That is the spoiler. I won't say that.
It's in the Kickstarter. I'm not spoiling. It's right there.
If I say any more than that, it will be a very big spoiler.
Oh, okay. I got you. We don't need to do that then.
But this little guy behind me here, this is Panopticon. This is one of the Nightmare Hunters.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yep.
Big bad raid monsters.
Yeah. And the encounters in the 13th hour are going to be cranked up quite a bit. The difficulty will be cranked up. You're not meant to just go in there and kill them right away. And so, people are asking about the difficulty level in 5e. You can punch a god in half with one roll. Like that will definitely not be happening in here. I love to do dynamic encounters. Again, I come from a video game design background. I love like the tiered progression of an encounter.
Mm-hmm.
I love the environmentals happening. I love adding a lot of chaos into it. And so expect a lot more from those 13th hour encounters. But defeating them will be incredibly rewarding, but they are optional. You do not have to kill the 13th hour Nightmare Hunters.
You just have to survive it.
You just have to survive. So if that tells you what those encounters are going to be like, the only place you can die in Chapelwick, I hope some people have extra character sheets ready.
Ooh.
There's a warning for you, everybody.
That's a warning I love to hear.
If the DM will do it. That's the trick. Will the DM actually kill their characters?
If I know James, yes. In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
No remorse.
I am not a forgiving GM.
Especially to your son.
I haven't killed him. Wasn't my fault. He rolled a natural 1 on his first roll ever.
That's wild. I love that.
Yeah.
So, okay, you've talked about some of these monsters in broad strokes, at least the Nightmare Hunters. What kind of unique monsters and items are you bringing to this now?
Yeah, so one of the things we have that are sort of items that will grow with you are called the Malignant Relics. They are essentially remnants of Chapelwick that have been retooled to serve some of the factions and the people trying to fight against Chapelwick. The only way to power them up is to either do key objectives in the 13th hour or kill the Nightmare Hunter in a given 13th hour. And these are essentially artifacts that will level up with you that have a deeper interaction with madness that becomes sort of part of your character, hence the malignant part.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like
other things too are just legendary weapons that sort of have an upside downside. If you're wielding a really powerful sword, you might be more susceptible to madness, right? And then when it comes to monster design, I don't know if it's on the page.
The sky is the limit because this.
I am having a blast designing the monsters. I don't know if you've seen. It's the Face Your Nightmares right above that. Encounter, Endure, Escape that has the items. Probably what you're looking at. Like that little squid back there is called the Cult o' War.
War.
I asked a buddy, I was like, hey, what monster should I design? He's like, I don't like jellyfish. I was like, cool. I'm gonna
Bet.
take
Let's make a
the
nasty
Man-O-War
jellyfish.
and turn it into something horrible. And the next to that is the Nettlebone Burr Hag. It is the Lich of the Nettle District. It's entirely made of bones and trees. And it can summon a lot of different things from the ground. When they get summoned this way, they have a lot of different abilities that they use. If you just find them in the wild, they're kind of empowered by their summoner. And so these are kind of a little, again, these little levers that the DM can pull to make these a lot scarier.
What's this? I guess like a candelabra looking whip.
Yeah, I have a working title for that called Candela Lash, and I'm not sure how I like it so far, but it is essentially a candelabra that is a flame whip. I mean, that's all there is to say about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's probably got like a 15 or 30-foot reach and does nasty stuff.
You will really get licked by flame.
Yeah.
You really get licked by flame, exactly.
Licked by flames, yeah. And then you have a purple sword after it that looks badass.
Yeah, that is, this is really embarrassing. I don't remember the name of that sword. I really should because I designed it, but I'm designing such a big scope that I'm looking back and forgetting where some of this stuff started. But that is essentially a stained glass design. The sword itself is made of some of the stained glass from Chapelwick.
Oh, cool.
And so there may be an opportunity to inflict madness on the monsters and denizens of Chapelwick.
I like it.
Make the DM draw some madness cards.
Please.
I'm so intrigued by this. This is right up my alley. Now it looks like you've also got you're working on custom soundtracks to go along with this. Like, how's that process been?
Yeah, so I'm writing all the music for it. It's been great. I was a musician by trade for a long time, a composer. What you're not seeing in the camera here is like a keyboard. I have 2 reference speakers. I used to have 6 guitars back there. So the process is really leaning into, what I have read. I love leaning into the numerology. The number 13 is going to play a lot in the music itself, which is kind of a weird number, right? You have to go 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? When you're doing stuff like that.
Minute.
I'm also a metal math head, so love that stuff too. So you're
There you
gonna
go.
hear a lot of very big orchestral pieces with a lot of like guttural, like metal stuff that I'd like to listen to, and also period like Gothic Victorian instruments that I have as digital instruments kind of mixed in. So I'm really going for individual immersive pieces that will draw the players into Chapelwick, that will call back to motifs that have been laid out from the beginning, and actually musical spoilers that if somebody's paying enough attention, they might get a cue that will give them a clue.
Oh, wow. That's
Okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's.
And let me see, we might have included, I think that's in the playtest material.
Oh, I think you might be right. I think I was looking through the folder. Yeah. So if anyone's going to check out the Kickstarter page, there is playtest material, so you can kind of get a taste for it all.
Let me do this.
Yeah, my head is
Copy link address.
my head's in Kickstarter land right now, so I don't remember every music. Yeah, there's a folder in here called music. So the tracks I've written are in here, and they're DMCA free. You're welcome to use them even outside of Chapelwick. I don't really care as long as I get credited. So if it's publicated, if it's for your own use, do whatever you want with it.
I'd tell everybody regardless.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good policy.
Yeah.
I didn't make this. So and so made this one.
Absolutely, yeah. Speaking of that, like, I will say there's a lot of physical stuff that you get in this Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I mean, decks of cards, art prints, map packs, tokens, dice galore, like pins. Are those metal pins too?
They are, yeah. Enamel metal, yeah.
I personally really love the artwork that you have for the DM screen.
I don't
Isn't
use the
that
DM
crazy?
screen, and I'd use it.
Can I talk about that for a second?
Please
That's
do.
really important. So we have this artist named Keegan. He's doing 3D modeling. We actually have a full render of basically Chapelwick
Oh,
in a state, like in a state of being. So what he can do is drop in anywhere and get like a screenshot. So that's actually what that is. That is a like from a district looking out across parts of Chapelwick and then painted over.
oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
So we're using that as the basis for a lot of our environmental art. Is this 3D design city, like fully rendered, and then having this style of painting, like paint over done to it.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, you can just drop in like a Google map. It's like crazy technology. Blender is wild.
Oh, Blender? Yeah, Blender's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and I will say, out of the, and it looks like you really did do an incredible push for saving inside of the tier levels. Collectors, which of course gets you everything, is literally half off.
Yeah. Yep. We wanted to make things kind of affordable, and I think especially that collector's bundle, you know, sometimes these go up to like $750, $950, $1150.
I'm not going to
we
say
worked with our
Kickstarters.
I'm also guilty of pulling the trigger on some of that stuff. We worked with our manufacturer to really just dial this in. And we have 69 backers for the collector's edition right now, which is fantastic. So I think we nailed that sweet spot of, you know, part of it too is we're not including minifigures in this. We wanted to so desperately. I mean, imagine this is a minifig. Like, that'd be crazy, right?
Yeah, it would.
It just wasn't cost prohibitive, unfortunately, right now with like world markets. And I know way more about that stuff than I have ever wanted to know. Like, I know like, the cost of ship. I know the weight of every single item in there because I had to like put it in a file and send it off to a logistics coordinator. Like, it's some of the stuff we drilled down on is so like granulated, but we tried very hard to make it within reach for everybody and offer very thematic material. Like, all of the dice correspond to a subclass, right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
The pins, I want to talk about the pins a little bit. So the pins in these sets correspond to one of the Nightmare Hunters. And the header reads, "Claim your kill." So if you get the pins and one of your players kills a Nightmare Hunter, you should give them the pin.
That's maybe. You can hold on to it. You gotta give it back when you leave.
Can't keep it.
You can, hey, I wouldn't be upset if people order 2 sets of pins. I mean, that wouldn't break my heart at all.
Wouldn't break your heart at all.
But that was the idea behind it, was being able to, you know, a lot of DMs are picking this up, but we wanted something for the player as well. We tossed around like a cloth map and some other things, and we landed on, you know, hey, like, you survived this, you do something cool in here, here's a badass pin for what you did there.
Yeah, I see the same thing with like the class dice, because like you're really gonna play with a group of us. Who's got the reverb?
Could be me.
What'd you do, Chuck? Yep, it was you.
Okay, it's like I'm covering my love here.
No, you're good. So, like I said, you could do that with the subclasses too. Like, I like the idea of having 12 sets of dice that just randomly appear at my desk or at my doorstep. But for those that are playing, you know, it's definitely worth
like,
it.
hey, you're the rogue. Here you go. Here's your dice.
Yeah, here's your dice. Oh, this is awesome. Then you're doing the same thing with the item spell cards, which is, to me, one of the things that I think more systems should do, because it's just so much nicer to have those spells in front of you, just quick in the hand.
Yep, those are all tarot size for quick reference, right? Like, one of our big claims we're making is that this is easy for new DMs to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of accessibility features in the book itself, from, you know, combat tables where everything you need to know for combat is just on a nice, basically Excel table, but it's pretty. So you don't have to have a bookmark here, look over here, have a note card here. I mean, it's just on the page.
Yeah.
And then, being able to give the items and spells to players, show off the monsters, bosses from a reference deck. If you're wanting to mix and match stuff, especially with that extended bestiary that just got unlocked today. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity for show and tell, which I think enhances the immersion quite a bit.
Absolutely. Not to mention, and it's something that stems from old D&D, like second edition and stuff like that. But like they did that a lot where you're like, oh, you got an item. Here's your item. Like they hand you an item. And then you tell the player, hey, if you don't bring that back next week, you don't have that item anymore. I don't know how many times I've been yelled at for that crap. And at that point, it was just on an index card, but then it got advanced where people were actually handing out item cards. And it's like, okay, cool. Now it feels like I actually got the item. Or when you kill a monster and they hand you an item, like, oh, look, you actually received something. There's just something about it with the tactile of it altogether.
Malignant relics with their upgrade pass and everything.
As long as it stacks, that's all that matters. I want a picture. I want this picture to slowly build on it. So when I put the cards up on it, they build. No, okay. That's right.
Yeah. Now I know we kind of mentioned it in passing, but anyone who wants to check this out and before they commit, I guess they can still do playtesting on their own, right?
Yeah.
So what can you describe what's involved in the playtest material that you've given?
Yeah, so we have Escape from Solitude Heights. It's a one-shot prequel where you play as an asylum patient, one of the 12 subclasses, and actually now I can say at 13, one of them is the class the Bell Founder. So one of the 13 total patients at the asylum, and it is an essentially asylum crawl where you learn the origins of Chapelwick, what happened to essentially bring Chapelwick into this world, and you get to witness Chapelwick crawl out of the sea.
I love it. Do I hear murmurs in my head whispering just nonsensical words as it crawls out of the ocean?
That depends on how well you roll.
It depends on how well you roll.
Well, guess what, James? I'm hearing shit. Because I roll like shit.
Yep, you roll like shit. That's okay. I do want to ask though. You said so. There's a new class with the Bell Founder. Is it gonna have its own subclasses too?
Currently, I have 3 planned, and I know the name of one. It's the Death Song Choir Master. Essentially, the Bell Founder makes their own bells. They're magical. Causes just a lot of ailments on enemies, buffs for your friends using these bells. Tons of different little bells. It was from this book I read as like a teenager, and I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember the author. The only thing I remember is like the bell system from it. I was like, this would be a really cool class because I can't use the Artificer. So this is essentially the Artificer substitute. The Bell Founder was actually originally going to be an Artificer subclass, and you can't do that because it's not in the OGL.
Yep.
And I can't read again. Part 2.
And I can't read again.
Yeah, a lot of it's just going to be themed around more of that, musical stuff happening maybe within like a chapel. Like the choir master is kind of essential to, certain chapels of certain time periods. Another one might be more melee focused, but the bell itself is actually a ranged weapon that you ring.
Awesome.
So there's a lot of
I want a
interplay
big
with
one that
that,
can
being a
gong something on top of
spellcaster,
my head.
making, yeah.
See, I just imagine the bell ringers like with the gloved hands just walking around just with the bells. Just
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I played bell choir. I played bell choir as a
bell.
kid in church. I know exactly what that is.
No, just convert that to murder hobo and you're good to go.
Yeah, just convert that with the murder hobo and you're good to go.
My ears.
Just keep an eye. Don't watch too much television right now, because there's a couple of the things that happen like that. That's besides the point. So we're technically what we would be considered happy hour at this moment already. So this is the opportunity for anybody in the audience to ask those interesting questions. Make sure if you have any questions about the Kickstarter or about the setting or the classes or game style. How do you run the game? I mean, ask those questions in the channel. And while we're doing that, Chuck or myself, one of the two, I really don't want to move because every time I do something on the internet, the whole thing cuts out. So I'm not going to do it. Chuck, can you pull up the D20 randomizer chart?
Give me
for
2 shakes of a tail feather.
And then we're going to have to kind of blend it to a Kickstarter exclusive format. Plus, is there anything we're missing? Anything we didn't go over that you're like, we didn't go over this? Like, what's super exciting other than what we've already went over that maybe we might have missed?
I think you covered it. I love talking about the subclasses and all of the stuff that I've designed, but I can't say enough about the story itself, which I obviously don't want to get into because I want everybody, when they get their book, to read it and experience it for the first time.
Yeah.
But the elements that Janelle have taken and blended together. Just a little background about Janelle. She is an English teacher. She's gonna kill me for saying this, but I think again it plays into the dichotomy of horror so well. She was a homeschooled Midwesterner, and we all know there's a ton of horror that happens in the Midwest, especially with corn. My wife is just this very innocent person, and I think there's so much beauty in what she's brought together from the eyes of innocence in a horror, of like her perception of watching me play through horror, us watching horror together. I got to introduce her to that because it was something she didn't like grow up watching, and I grew up like reading Stephen King. My mom was like, "Hey, here's it. You're in 3rd grade. Have fun." And so this just kind of this funny marriage of like, very cinnamon bun Midwestern girl, and this like I was like a goth kid, like like black chain pants and long hair, and just like, oh, I hate the world in high school. Just kind of fun. And so she's taken a lot of this, a lot of the things I love, mixed in with her knowledge of like English literature. You're gonna see a lot more than just like Bloodborne in this. Bloodborne is kind of like our like marketing word, right? You get so many words with marketing, and that was kind of the base idea. But it's blossomed and bloomed into something absolutely horrible, pulling all of these things together in the best sense of the term.
There we go. So wrong's right, wrong.
I talked about the mask pins already, honey.
Right.
That's my wife.
So the mask.
Oh, mask pins. No, I didn't talk about those.
So I see though, because we talked about we talked about the pins themselves as being the hunters, but there's over 13 of those. So what are the masks ones? Because that's different.
This is storage. You'd have to come talk about it, love. I can't say it as well as you can. No, I'm trying to pull it. I can't talk about them.
Okay.
I think it'd be spoiling if I did. I don't want spoilers. Maybe she's on her way up here to lean into the microphone.
Maybe we'll ask one question on it then. Is it outside of the hunters?
It is outside of the hunters. Yeah, you can come in. She wants to talk about it.
Writer, come in, talk. I want to know the secrets.
Yes, please.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear her okay?
Yeah.
Cool. I think they're cool. That's all. It's just the representation of the 3 major factions of Chapelwick. The pins are titled accordingly. So you have Fools, Farce, and Facade. And each of those represent some of the major entities that you can encounter. And there's this sense within Chapelwick being a city that's like masked, of what you see is not really what you get. There's a whole lot of gaslighting going on. And so masking something is a very prevalent theme throughout. And so there's these major entities based on being the masks of the city that are hiding what is reality.
So the other thing I didn't get a chance to ask this, but maybe it's finally because my brain decided to speed up for a little bit. So are each of the hunters part of each of the districts or no?
Good question.
Cool. Got it.
Soon, TM, you'll have to find out when you read the book for the first time.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was just curious. So
I have a question for my
13
Discord
districts.
here.
There's 13 hunters. I'm like, okay, maybe we figured this, keep up.
There's some overlap. I have a question from my Discord. Can I put that up here?
Yeah, go for it.
Doesn't have anything to do with Chapelwick. If you could be a magic user in any fantasy realm, what would your school of magic be?
Ooh.
I would be a geomancer from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
Basically, whatever ground you're standing on, you have access to that magic. So if you're on sand, you have like earth magic. If you're on grass, like water, lava. I just think that you're basically the Avatar at that point.
Yeah.
I think Brennan Lee Mulligan would be disappointed if you said anything other than chronomancy. So we got to go with chronomancy.
Time magic.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, chronomancy.
I think that's what he wanted me to say, and I specifically didn't say it because I know this person in real life.
I mean, or we can go depending on what time of what direction we're going out of. Because if we're gonna go crazy, I can also do matter magic out of Mage the Ascension from World of Darkness, where matter itself can be manipulated. And first off, that system is broken to all get up. You can do almost infinite amount of things in that system, but yeah, it's a story-driven game. So you allow your players to play as chaotic as they want to be. But yeah, what about you, Chuck?
I mean, I love Magic, but I don't know enough to really sit there and say which ones. Technomancy always speaks out to me. I think I played a game not too long ago that dealt with technomancy, so it was just really control over technology.
I mean, Watch Dogs kind of had that too, you know.
Yeah. What's that old book? It's called Neuromancer, I think. Kind of brought in a lot of that, like cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah.
That's just my bread and butter.
Yeah. You like you like sci-fi anyway, so that's definitely right up your alley.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. Do you guys have do either one of you have a D20 lying around next to you? Since we've added her into the puzzle tonight, so
that does not. That is an earring. It would not be a good roll. Funny enough, all of my dice exist downstairs in that gaming room picture I sent you.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I got one.
She got one. Oh, is this a D?
Yeah.
Well, there's always gonna be one laying around.
Okay.
All right, roll it.
Roll it.
It's a 4.
It's a 4.
What's our question for 4?
Technically, are there home rule rules that you would recommend?
What is your favorite homebrew rule for Chapelwick?
Right.
For Chapelwick? Oh no. I'm the worst DM. I use 5e as in the loosest sense possible.
More like guidelines.
More like guidelines than actual rules. My favorite homebrew rules.
Rule or mechanic, I guess you could say.
Well, I wouldn't say this is for Chapelwick, but personally, every inn in every world I make that's not Chapelwick is called the Gilded Puppy. And that comes from the person that got me into 5e. I stole that from him. I own thegildedpuppy.com, another project. So that's like definitely not a mechanical homebrew rule.
Yeah.
I do a lot of homebrew rules, but I can't like think of any. They're usually out of necessity, out of things I don't like in whatever system I'm playing. And I'm like, don't do that. That's stupid. Let's do this instead.
Don't do that.
Like in the moment, I definitely don't think about it super hard.
Yeah.
What are some that you've enjoyed that I've done?
I mean, even just not focusing so much on the cumbersome mechanics of like making sure that you have the what are they called, the
components
and like, okay, we assume that you already have those things because you're a competent wizard,
unless it passes a certain threshold of
right.
cost. Like you can't just cast resurrect at will, you know,
or even how long it should take you to travel from one place to another. There's like, even in any form of storytelling, you have the balance between scene and summary, and if you are over cumbersome following rules as written by the letter, then everything is seen and there is no summary, and it's very cumbersome for players. So being able to find that balance of what do we summarize, what do we just get through because we just need to do the thing, and then we can really focus in and zoom in on that scene and have that be more impactful. I think that's just a good balance that a DM has a beat on that pulse.
Yeah, I break a lot of spell rules and a lot of like saving throw rules. I'm usually rule of cool. Like if somebody wants to throw their spear, misty step, catch it, and stab somebody, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I might allow it.
Alright.
It's gonna, and there's always a role involved,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like there's more than just you do it.
Yeah.
And so when players ask me, I want them to be bold and ask me if they can do something. I'm like, cool, I'll figure out a role for that for you.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's probably my favorite homebrew thing to do is not just stick to, oh man, this is only investigation or this is only dexterity. It's like there's multiple ways to do a lot of this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've found really good results with players that I DM for in allowing that. Everybody seems to have more fun at the table, and it opens up a lot of role-playing opportunities. And I've seen it pull people out of their shell too, because you get into this tabletop and there's all this stuff. You're a first-time player, you're juggling all these things, you don't know how attacks work. And some people have been playing D&D every week for 3 years and they still don't know what their spell save DC is, right? And so, or how to do, don't get me started on sneak attack.
Don't get me started on sneak attack.
Right? So you have players like this at the table. So how do you create moments for somebody that, 3 years in, it's their first time playing D&D?
Yeah, that's my biggest issue with that is concentration. I always forget my concentration checks. Like for magic.
Actually am a stickler about that. Funny enough.
Trying to remember that every single time is like crazy. Real quick, Ben Oasis redeemed some hydration. So for those that have some drinks, take your drink. I've already drank all mine, so I can't do that.
This is full. I've been terrible. I've been drinking cider instead.
Hey, normally that's normally what we all drink, but not tonight.
Full of water for me.
Yeah. You're full of something.
You get the Vegas guest on and you don't drink? That's crazy. All right, that's fine.
I'm so tired. You drink enough for all of us.
Yeah, you can drink enough for all of us tonight. So I will say though, we had another guest on here a while back. Shout outs to the Grouch Couch, and they have a way to do those little cumbersome things. It's called I Think I Got It, and it's a survival check. And if it's high enough, then you just have the item you were looking for. Like it's in your bag somewhere. And it's for those little things that you're kind of, if it's not on your actual person and you're not thinking about it, and you're like, oh, I have that rope somewhere. Oh, let me see if I have it. And, you roll the survival check and it's high enough. You're like, oh, look, I have the rope.
Like you're a ranger. You went to ranger school. Like
Yeah.
you probably didn't leave town without getting fletching, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
I'll keep track of that stuff when, the camp gets ambushed and they're not near their gear. I love to create moments. I withhold that purposefully to create moments. So I love what they do with that. I do luck rolls sometimes. Like maybe you did have the conversation. Let's retroactively see if you did have the conversation with the blacksmith about this. Roll, pick even or odd. Give me even or odd. I'm going to roll a d20. If it's what you pick, then it happens.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, here we go. Second wind mechanic. So when somebody makes an attack roll, that's a critical fail. I give them a choice. Okay, a lot of the attack just whiffs, or you can double down, and I'll either do even or odd, and let them re-roll it. Or if it's not the one you chose, something worse happens. I like having that like fun little moment of like, oh, you tripped, but then maybe caught your balance to do something else, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just think it adds a little bit more dramatic flair to like crit fails on attacks.
Absolutely.
And it gives players an opportunity because like you'll be at a table, and everybody's had this before, where you'll have a round of combat and it's the worst session of D&D you've ever played and it never feels good. I found even by just slotting in this mechanic and giving that second wind, like even if they fail on that, it still feels better than just failing like the first time. Because like, no, you really failed.
Yeah.
And it increases the rolls across the table, so that natural spread of rolls over the evening and the action economy actually just feels better. It's more like this instead of like this. I'm a huge numbers guy, like stats guy, so I love so anytime I can make this a little bit wider.
Yeah. I would say definitely I would do that with already known consequences. Like, all right, you get that second chance, but if you miss this time, something like, and you tell them, depending on the scenario, you're like,
you stab your friend instead.
You stab your friend, or you break your weapon, like something crazy. but you're accepting that risk, right? And I think that's something that I noticed in a lot of higher stakes actual plays. They do a lot of that where they give you the consequence up front. Like, you can do this all you want. This is what's going to happen if it fails. Or you succeed the way you want to succeed. So there's that too. Awesome. Cool. Chat, we've got a bunch of people in here tonight. Everybody's quiet. Ask your questions. Thank you for the follow.
Roll the D20 again.
Who's the cute guy in the top frame?
Me.
You're not in the top frame, bro.
Damn.
I got a 16, unless Chris has another Chapelwick related question, friend. I know this person.
Let's see. 16. What is something that you love to add to your NPCs?
Ooh. It's not necessarily across the board, but I do try to very quickly identify the mascot for every session and really lean into it. The
mascot? Okay.
There's an NPC that the party adopts.
Yeah, there's always something every session that the players just fall in love with. Most recent one, it was a skeleton in a cave who had a necklace on, cursed to be a skeleton. His name was Chadmire. And it was one of those, like, the players weren't supposed to go there, and so I like cobbled it together, and so I have the worst names when I do that. But then he was like a buff skeleton, and there was this picture on the internet of like a skeleton, but he was muscular. I was like, yeah, this is Chadmire, and they just fell in love with him instantly and adopted him. We were playing.
It was Icewind Dale.
No, it wasn't Icewind Dale. It was the other one up there, the Frost Queen. I'm so bad at some of these names.
Frost Queen, that is
the Frost Maiden. Thank you. Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. There we go. We never got anywhere near the actual content for that because of Chadmire.
It's back there.
It's back there. Yeah.
That's my version of that's my version of the Charlotte Dragon right there.
I don't think Chadmire's name was originally Chadmire. I think it was something like actually.
I forgot his name, and so I just started calling him Chadmire. Yeah. So a lot of that happens where I will develop essentially sometimes my own player to play at the table. I love weird names for a lot of my NPCs too, using like generators and then just like moving a letter or two, so it's impossible for them to pronounce or remember, so they don't ask me about it again sometimes. But yeah, I think just providing a lot of character and leaning into quirks, especially if you can develop quirks like as a DMing those quirks, a lot of those characters become a lot more memorable, so you can really start to select, like, this is a throwaway character, quit asking me about this person, these are the ones I want you to follow, right? And it feels like pigeonholing a little bit, but it's done through with like good improv, good storytelling.
It is something too that we've intentionally integrated as part of that accessibility for Chapelwick, is anytime there's an NPC, we just have a little quick reference box that's like, here's what they look like, here's a quirk about that person. So maybe they always call everybody sweetie, or maybe they always like clap their hands together whenever they made a point, or just something that gives a little flavor to an NPC that is a quick role-playing thing with like 4 or 5 quick dialogue options, so that a DM can read that quickly, even if they didn't prep a whole bunch, and can still dive into that role play without a barrier of like, well, their description was somewhere in a paragraph, I don't remember it, so I'll just make it up. We're trying to make that easier.
I like it. Actually, sounds really cool. And it's going to be something I'll be utilizing to look at when we build NPCs, because it's something I'm always looking for, is like, what are quick ways I can make an NPC as memorable as possible without writing out an entire stat block for every single character. And that definitely sounds like it's up my alley on those little tips and tricks. So real quick, it seems like Chris missed it earlier when we did talk about what is your inspiration for the new class of that was introduced in Chapelwick.
Yeah, the Bellfounder. I mean, seriously, it was a book I read as a teenager that had a necromancer that used bells to get through the gates of hell to pull more necromancy out of hell. That is it. That is all I remember of that, and it stuck with me. I can't remember the author, I can't remember the title, but that's really it, is just the use of magical bells, mixing that with I love music history. That's one of my favorite subjects. And so just going through some of like just the progression of music from when we called it music, when we had like notes on a staff and what was prior, a lot of the different, like the Industrial Revolution and music goes so hand in hand. Like to fast forward a little bit there of like the orchestra size quadrupled with the Industrial Revolution. And so I just love the idea of, the Ars Nova and like the music influencing culture and back and forth, and even music sometimes driving like industries into progression, like in growing bigger. So the Bellfounder is kind of the essence of that, mixed with whatever book I read as a teenager that I will never remember. I've Googled it 100 times. So if somebody watches this and they're like, oh, I remember the Necromancer series from this author it was a chick. I don't remember. It was really cool though. It was fascinating to me, but that was 20 plus years ago.
You might hate me for this, so I apologize if this is not a good representation. But every time I look at this subclass, it reminds me of the Bells of Notre Dame song from Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's just like you get this oppressive Gothic architecture and this resounding sound of bells telling that story. Cool.
You gotta go let him in.
Yeah. I gotta peace out. Great fun talking to y'all.
Yeah. So that's really it. I mean, some of the subclasses are like really advanced, and some of them are like, what if, Ghost Rider was a cleric? Like,
what if Ghost Rider was a cleric?
It's kind of an eclectic mix, but I think it all matches pretty well.
I think I like the idea though that even if you did come up with those little very quick ideas, like what if this was this, it still matches with the concepts and with the tone you're trying to push with Chapelwick. So it's not like you just threw a character out there and was like, this sounds like a cool idea, but it makes no sense in this game. Like no sense in this setting.
Yeah, I tried to think about what would exist in Chapelwick between, I can't say it without spoiling it, so I won't, but just some of the elements, like there are things outside of what I've said tonight that also drastically influence the development of the subclasses and classes that you'll have to get the book and read. It will make sense very quickly. But if I say literally anymore, there's huge spoilers at stake.
We tried, everybody. We tried.
Join the Kickstarter, everybody.
Join the Kickstarter.
If you play the one shot, that'll spoil some stuff too.
Join the Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing is you're getting 3 PDFs and a book for $65. Like you don't even get, I can barely get a D&D book anymore for under $60. Like,
yeah, we're giving everything digitally too, right? Like you'll be able to print out, if you don't end up getting Madness Deck, you'll be able to print it out. All of that stuff you'll be able to, still functionally use, right? Like a lot of the stuff, if it's mechanic enabling or you need it to play, it will be available digitally. So if you just get the book and you're cool with printing some of this stuff out, it's all there for you. We wanted to make sure that, we weren't leaving people to hang like, oh, I got the book, but I don't have a way to run Madness. Like that makes no sense.
Well, you want to roll one more time?
Yeah, we'll roll one more time.
One more time. I got an 18 that time.
All right. Okay. What is a mistake that you might have made in the game that has helped you now? So how do we want to reframe that one?
Oh my gosh. I've made mistakes. We've had mistakes on our Kickstarter page. Like, I don't know if you scroll down to there are 2 bundles that are disabled. There are 8 lucky people that are getting the deluxe book in one of the bundles. They should not have gotten the book in. Like, this is our first Kickstarter. There's just 3 of us running this.
Yeah,
there's some mistakes in our Kickstarter.
Been there, done that with another Kickstarter. And I was like, oh, look, we get all this. And they're like, no, you get the print. I said, no, that doesn't say prints. That says I get the items.
Yep.
So we had the same thing for a Kickstarter where we thought they were giving the STLs. And then the one after that one was giving the STLs and the actual prints themselves, but they accidentally put both of them on both Kickstarter pledges. And I was like, no, your Kickstarter says this. This is what I ordered.
And if it says that and somebody puts money towards it, you have to fulfill it. So we're giving
exactly
those Welcome 2 tiers that had some mistakes in them. Those people are getting those items. Lucky people. Sorry, the people that didn't catch it sooner. There are secrets in our Kickstarter that we're not aware of.
Dang, I missed it. I was going to look at this earlier this morning too.
Some mistakes that we've made in development. I think it's perfect. No mistakes.
No mistakes. How about this? What is something that you originally thought was going to be in Chapelwick that you had to pull?
I have a ton of stretch goals, actually. Kind of contingent on this, just because it's going to add some high page counts.
Mm-hmm.
I actually haven't had anything not go into Chapelwick yet.
Okay.
I haven't done a pruning process. Yeah, we're not quite there with it yet. The story's written, a lot of this stuff is designed. I'd say some of like the subclass design in its early elements, just playing around with a lot of this stuff, that's going to happen a lot this next year. It's already happened in the playtest material, like just changing some skills, how they work. Like the rogue was originally on a successful melee attack, roll a 1d6 and the thing happens on the table. And now it's sneak attack, you choose. Like a lot of iterations like that are going to happen.
Okay.
A lot of abilities are going to get different names. Some abilities are going to get removed. So that whole process is just going to be a lot. But as far as something I wanted to go in Chapelwick, I think Janelle has told me no to a couple ideas. She's like, that doesn't fit the story. But I honestly, when she says that, I'm like, cool, you're the boss. You wrote the story. I trust whatever you say. I will design something else. No worries.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer.
That's the right answer.
Keep
when you're
the boss
working
happy.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go quick. I mean, for those that have not had a chance to look at it, when it says what horror awaits, we've got a campaign setting, leveling from 1 to 13, new mind rift madness, souls-like death mechanics, districts, 13 districts to explore, 13 upgrade malignant artifacts or relics, nightmare encounters, multi-phase boss encounters, spells, subclasses, monsters, and music. Like, you're getting what you paid for and then some. No matter what form you purchase in, you're going to get more than you would even expected. So please go check this one out, because this has definitely been on my radar for a while. And it'll probably be like the 4th Kickstarter I've already backed by the end of the year, which is going to be dangerous, but I'll be all right.
I'm on my 3rd one this year. I totally get that. There's a couple. Yeah, I've been talking to other Kickstarters in the space that are live right now, and it's kind of been really like supportive. We're like kind of doing the same thing, but
yeah,
I'm loving what they're doing, they're loving what we're doing. So
yeah,
I think it's
this is the first D&D Kickstarter I would be backing this year. So there's that.
Okay, I'm honored.
Yeah, so because we did last week, I backed Ragnarborg for Morkborg series for the Vikings, and then literally the day after, I backed the Dark Forest, which is a Redwall meets Shadowdark, and that
we saw
amazing.
That it looks so cool.
Looks so cool, and I'm a huge Shadowdark fan right now. That's what we play as our home game. Yeah. So, like I said, that's why when Chuck says I have no issue killing people, like I have no issue killing people.
Chapelwick is for you then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. My players might run away from me.
I won't run.
I know you won't. Like, quick story, and then we're going to go. But our first group, our newest group of players, we got them all together. We had everybody build characters. And normally you wouldn't kill off one of the newer players at their first game. But yeah, one of our new players lost their character night 1 and rebuilt characters. But they come back. So I was like, apparently I did something right. That's all I'm saying. Apparently I did something right.
It's almost comical at that point, right? Like it's like the soldier just like steps out and gets immediately like hit by a truck. It's like, I'm here,
Yeah. And that's not counting our one shot that we played during 4th of July. That's different. That was a full TPK, because I didn't know how dangerous Shadowdark was. So
yeah. It was great.
Yeah. And we only had
cool.
one priest and 6 players, so it wasn't a good idea.
That's what potions are for. It's fine.
Oh no, there are no potions in Shadowdark.
They're not. I gotta pick up Shadowdark. Apparently, everybody keeps mentioning
there,
it. I know
thought there
of it.
were. They were just hard to get.
No, I create them because they're not actually in the book.
You're too nice then. Okay.
My players I wouldn't have a party if that was the case. And I don't give them out lightly. So
yeah. See, I just wonder like the viability of some of the stuff I'm trying to accomplish if the system is like too hard, like I love like Morkborg, and I got that downstairs. I love Vast Grim. Some of those definitely, like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
I love those, but I think those are for like, I don't know. I put those in like a different space than what we're trying to do in 5e here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said, OSE and Shadowdark are kind of that blend, because like I know like Morkborg, you can die like,
oh my goodness,
anytime.
Just you better have 3 or 4 character sheets ready. Like,
yeah, Shadowdark's a little more friendlier than that.
A little more friendly. Okay, I haven't picked it up. I will pick it up. I'll do it this week. I promise.
Yeah, they only just level 10 too, so you would have to actually. But it's interesting because they don't have a subclass system, so that would be a little different. You would have to just build each of these subclasses as their own classes.
That's okay. I mean, they kind of are. I mean, if you take
right.
like Rogue out of Sinister Pallbearer, like it'd
and
be very
to, and
easy.
you're supposed to. Well, when you level up, you're supposed to roll on a dice chart, and then every time you get that ability to roll that, you get that extra ability added to your character sheet. So that's how they grow. So they grow in randomization at all times, anyways.
I love that. That's
which is
really
a lot of fun. But yeah. Also, since we have been on, you're at 126,000. So
oh no! Don't tell me numbers. I'm not looking.
So we've pulled over 1,000 since we started the channel.
There
tonight.
we go.
So hopefully part of that was help from us. For those that are have not checked this out, definitely go over, check out Chapelwick. I'm going to drop it into the channel one more time. Any last things you want to say before we close it out tonight?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for kind of just doing this like turnaround really quick.
Absolutely.
I've kind of said everything I want to be saying about Chapelwick. I'm terrible. I'm like a terrible salesman. I'm like the creative director. So, back me or don't. I don't really care, but you should probably, because it's really cool. I mean,
you've put a lot of work, energy, and time into this, and it looks amazing. You deserve to be backed. And I don't think I mean, it's already, for those that are worried, it's already going to be produced. The goal was only 20 grand. It's already going to be produced. So, for those that are worried, and there's 29 days to back it still. So
yeah, we're doing pretty good. We got a pretty long runway here.
Yeah. So, Chuck, any last things for you?
Nothing on my end. Like this is just, I love cosmic horror. So this is great to hear about, and I love it. And I've got to convince my wife to let me get it.
You poke me and be like, "You're the game master. You buy it." Like, oh, thanks.
I mean, I could, but then I wouldn't have it at my house.
That's true. Once again, thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight. It's always fun to have a new guest, and it's always fun to watch the incredible creativity of this community. I think it's one of my favorite reasons about doing this show is that there are so many people out there that are creative individuals in our community, and what a better way to do than just to show it off. Real quick, I'm going to run through these things real fast, and then we're going to get people out of here. Our current sponsors for tonight and every show we run here on Tabletop Misfits is our wonderful music people over at Monument Studios. You can get over 5,000 professional audio sounds by using the code MISFIT. And you get that for 3 months free or 30% off your purchase. If you like Click Clacks, Canadian Dice is our current sponsor for that. You go over there for 15% off. Use the code MISFIT15, and you can pick up your next set of dice. And of course, if you're looking for cool stuff like that cool logo over there, Beaker builds or my wonderful Blue Wizard, you can get those over at Dungeon Grandmaster. Not to mention, it hasn't been created yet, but we are in the works of a brand new sponsor for Beaker builds over there that is going to be dropping tomorrow night. And that is first ever seen our new paint company, Last Hope Acrylics. And they have both a full shades and washes as well as a whole set of acrylic paints that you can make with your minis. Go check out Beaker Builds tomorrow night, and then Sunday night you come check out him again as the next episode. No, not this month. Sorry, that.
No, it's a month
currently
off on Power.
We are on a hiatus at the moment because of people and scheduling and stuff like that from Power Rangers. And then Monday night, come see my goofy face as we continue diving through Icewind Dale. Only this week, we are doing a fireside chat because we are doing our next show live in Carlsbad, California for Mysticon in the following weekend. So if you want to see that, tune in and we will be hanging out there. And then the following week, we'll have a new guest because that's what we do every week, new guest. And it's so cool. Anyway, we're going to send this out the same way we brought it in. We're going to run the Kickstarter. And while we're doing so, please stick around right to the end of it, please, so we can raid some friends, just as our friends raided us, and we can give back to the community. Until then, raise that glass high. This is Tavern Talks. This is Last Call, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Chapelwick wasn't built. It surfaced. And ever since, the sea has refused to take it back. Not a ruin, no. City perfectly preserved, as if caught in a moment of life. But that's the lie. The farce for those who cannot see. Who catch glimpses, mindless revelries in the corner of your eye. Laughter that fades when you turn your head, as if normal is just beyond your touch. But the city is toying with you. It wants you to believe, to let go. All of it, a facade, a sick performance. No mind can withstand the city that crawled out of the sea, and the terrors that only appear when the clock strikes 13. You cannot run from madness.